Unlocking Marital Bliss. It's a pleasure once again. Thank you for joining me. This is Cyrus Road on Unlocking Marital Bliss, and I'm always excited to be part of your living room every Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. And tonight, I'm excited to say that I'm hosting a wonderful lady together with her husband, and we want to talk about can life after giving birth outside wedlock, can there be life? Am I used? Am I spent? Especially to the young ladies watching. Once I give birth, do I become a single mom? Is that the end of me? Can I start life once again? We want to go deep into this because we have somebody who believes and who lives the reality that they went through just being a single mom or being dumped and forsaken, and they stood up and gained victory. And tonight we're going to talk about that and inspire many of you to rise up and get out of any pity so you can experience victory no matter what has happened to you. I'll see you in a little while. Hey, once again, you're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod. And I'm just so excited as usual. I am so much on fire. When it comes to marriage, I tell people marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. And here, when you're watching Unlocking Marital Bliss, we bring the keys that can equip you to succeed in marriage. Why would anybody fail in marriage? Why would anybody collapse in marriage? No, 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 no. Not when you are watching Unlocking Marital Bliss. So I encourage you to always tune in and follow us on Facebook, on anywhere, social media, and let us know how much this is being a blessing to you. Now, tonight I have a couple over here. I have, first of all, a wonderful lady joining me. And I'm not going to introduce you. I want you to introduce yourself. At least you're joining me. So tell us your names. The viewers are watching. I'll begin with you.
Viewers, thank you for watching me. Um, okay, I'm Pastor Stroke Engineer Sandra Bainana.
Pastor Stroke Engineer. Engineer. Okay.
Yeah, I have a company with my husband. We have a company. We run a company that it's an engineering firm. We do both civil and mechanical engineering. Yeah, so he does the mechanical bit. I do the civil bit.
Oh, so you're married to that man, huh? He's your husband. Oh, wow. You are Sandra Baingana. Could you introduce that gentleman to us?
He is Mr. Bainana Innocent. Yes, a mechanical engineer. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Mr. Baingana, you're so much welcome. Yes, I tried to get her to introduce you, but I think she wanted you to do the whole 9 years. So go ahead, sir.
I'm Innocent Baingana. I'm an engineer, but basically I'm specializing in elevators.
Elevators.
Elevators, lifts, yeah.
Okay, the lifts.
Yeah, I've been in that business for last around 21 years now.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you're good with these lifts, the elevators, the escalators,
yeah,
car parking systems.
yeah.
Car parking system. What do you mean by a car parking system? Our viewers probably don't understand. Do you have a system that when a car enters some parking lot, then it's activated and it parks itself, or what's going on?
Okay, I'm assuming in Uganda we are used to just parking on bare land.
Yeah.
But then me and you know that we're trying to conserve some land and have a lot of things we could do on the land. So instead of spending a big chunk of land for parking, I could come and make a useful of a small space. I'm assuming this is the space. You can have 3 cars parked in this space. One down, one in the middle. You can even have 10 cars parked in one in this small
Come
space.
on, what are you trying to tell us? Mr. Baingana, what is this stuff she's saying?
Yeah, it is, you can have the 3 meter by 7 meter, and you can have 7 cars on that very space.
On that very space?
Yeah, 3 meter by 7 meter, 7 up.
How
one
do
can
they
come
go
in.
up?
One, for example, we can start with, let's say, two. You come with park, then it lifts it up. Then another one comes and park below you.
So this system
Yeah,
has
there's
different levels.
Yeah, so this, you park, you press a button, it takes it up. Then another one comes and.
Where have you installed this stuff? Is it here in Uganda? Because we watch this stuff in different nations and maybe on TV, but here in UG,
We're trying to introduce it on the market. We have some clients we are talking to right now.
Okay.
Hopefully it works out and it will be one of the first products we are doing regarding the car parking systems. But we've seen them in Egypt, we've seen them in China. They are really doing a lot of saving space.
that is so beautiful because, I mean, it's not happened yet around here, but it's so good when you come up with something like that for our country, and at least some people will get to know. What's the name of the company?
Fuji Uganda.
Fuji.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
FUGI
Fuji Uganda.
for vertical and horizontal transportation.
Wow. Fuji Uganda. So I guess you get to let our viewers know, because there might be many of them interested in this new parking system. Fuji Uganda. Where are you located?
In Tinder, Lot 51, Tinder 2 Road.
Tinder 2 Road.
Yeah, after
There's-
Bank of Africa, the next entrance, the next gate. I should
Okay.
be into, that place.
Oh, okay. After Bank of Africa.
Yeah.
So if I drive up to Bank of Africa in Ntinda,
Yeah.
then
Then
what
the-
number do I call?
Yeah.
Plus,
can add.
plus 256 703 95 79 66 or plus 256 772 500 229.
You know, it's so good that you have a business and you have also your marriage.
Yeah.
And of course, it's good that you're succeeding in business and then you must be succeeding in marriage. That's why I want your business to really go up
Yeah.
and let everybody come running to you and you install these new parking systems.
Actually, Fuji is a brand we are representing
In Uganda.
in Uganda.
Okay.
Generally, it's from Japan, but most of the parts are assembled in China. But the products, the components, electric components, and they are manufactured in Japan. And we are representing it here in Uganda. Yeah.
So-
And
So
it is
Fuji- okay.
it is the lifts and also
Escalators.
lifts and escalators
And parking
and
systems.
parking system. Yeah.
Okay, that is very good. And then you do the construction also.
Yeah.
So it's a joint venture. Fuji Uganda is a joint venture that is comprising of the company that has been there for 21 years that he talks about. It's called Imex Uganda Limited.
Yeah.
So then we make a joint venture with another firm that is from overseas. You know, like nowadays in government, when you're bidding for jobs, they tend to give it to foreigners.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the capacity.
Here in UG.
Yes. So the joint venture is specifically to bid for those projects.
Okay.
Yeah, that is in a specific amount.
Yeah, because many times Ugandan will say, I can do this, and they take the money and never do anything. But it's so good to know that if you can partner with some experienced people, then it becomes easier for you to get the contracts.
Government, our procurement people, they say we want this project for you are starting if a local company. They ask you, have you ever installed a building more than 20 floors? Where do you start when you are? In order to break through,
I know.
you must partner with someone.
Partner with somebody who's done
and
it
it's
before.
always, you cannot go for big projects really when you are starting. And when you are starting, you remain with 10, 15, 11, 10, 6. When that big project comes, you cannot take it. In order to take up that opportunity, still you need to get
to partner.
yeah.
So the joint venture is specifically for those government jobs. However, we as Imex Uganda Limited, the local firm in Uganda, we've been doing lift installation and servicing of lifts.
Okay.
Yeah. So the joint venture comes in to do those big projects.
That is very good. That is very, very good. Now that I get to know this is Mr. Bayingana and your Mrs. Bayingana, and then who were you before you became Mrs. Bayingana? Nakaziba. From where? Ginger. You break all the rules and you travel from east and you go to west. They tell us east and west never meet. So you guys ended up breaking the rules. East met west. Okay, before all that, I want to know. Here you are as Sandra, okay? Before you even get married to Mr. Baingana, innocent. You are Sandra. From Ginger, he's in Mbarara. And my first question is, we want to talk about the ladies that have somehow down the road ended up pregnant. And when they end up pregnant, the guy tends to walk away. That's the time I want to enjoy, but I don't want the responsibility that comes with enjoying. Now that you're pregnant and all this stuff, and because you gave me a hint on this, and then you overcame, I want to know. Yes, you said you're a pastor and you're doing ministry, and yet at one time you had a baby. How did that ever come to pass? Did you have the baby while you were in school, or you had a baby while you after school?
Yeah, I'd already begun working like 2 years.
Okay.
After campus, yeah, so I began working and that's how I got the baby.
That's how you got the baby. Were you born again by then?
Yes, I was. I'd grown up in church all my years. From Sunday school actually. I was in church. I was a church girl, so I knew everything God tells me to do as a believer. I knew there was no sex before marriage.
Yes.
It's a must and all that. So I was dating this guy, and I thought he was also born again because that's what he used to tell me. So we were dating. We were together for 6.5 years.
You dated for 6.5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, but then at 5.5 years, this guy comes up and he's like, I want to have sex with you. So I'm like, but what happened to the fact that no sex before marriage? It's like, I think I'm getting out of patience, and I think the 5.5 years I've been showing you that I'm actually not about sex, that I love you, but I feel I have needs as a human being. So if you don't offer it to me, I will go out and get it from someone.
No. Before you go ahead, these threats from guys that tell the ladies, if you don't give it to me, I'm going to go get it somewhere else. I think this is the truth. If a man cannot be patient, even if you give it to him, he will still go out because he cannot honor you enough to protect you and put a ring on your finger. So no woman should ever be threatened. If that boy says, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go get me somebody else, I'm going to go get me, let him go. You don't need somebody who's going to mess you up. I'm going to go, let him go. Okay? Please go on.
He gave me an ultimatum.
An ultimatum?
Yeah, he told me if by December or in November, if October actually, if by December I don't have the sex, me and you are done. So we actually broke off the whole of November.
You had started November. By December, if we're not having sex, we're done. No more relationship. Can you imagine, was the relationship built around sex? Total selfishness. Okay, go on.
Where he was saying that I've been patient for 5.5 years. So really, it's not about the sex, Yeah, but eventually we broke up for a full month. The whole of November we were apart. So December he comes to Kampala and somehow he happens to visit for a talk. He's like, can we talk? So amid this that talking, it all happened and I end up having the sex, and before I knew it I was pregnant. Before I knew it I was standing in church apologizing.
Hey, no, before you do that apology stuff, how did it hit you now that you ended up giving in, the pressure was too much, you're a church girl, and then you ended up surrendering to this guy thinking, okay, maybe that will make us, since we had broken up, we're going to come back together again, and then you're pregnant, and then you're a church girl. What were you doing in church by then? You were interpreting for the pastor, and you are the youth leader, and now You had sex outside marriage. How did you handle that as Sandra?
Okay, first of all, that sex bit wasn't planned. Like I told you, I didn't expect it would be like, because even the guy just showed up at my home, you know. And
Did he ever know where you stay? He used to visit?
No, he used not to. We used to meet out because we were avoiding the sex bit. So
Okay.
because we had broke up, he wanted to get to meet me and we talk. So he went through friends to know where I stay. And one day I come from church, I find him on my veranda, and that's when I let him in to talk.
Oh, God.
So before we know it, it's late. He's like, I can't travel back. Can I sleep in the same
Oh,
bed?"
my God. Now, you ladies, hear me. If the fella comes in the evening and then he begins telling you, oh, I think if you realize it's 7 p.m., tell him, dude, time up, go. Yes, you better tell him. But the moment you begin talking, 8, 9, 10, dude, hey, all red lights are there. All the sirens are going off. Please run for your life. Don't go beyond 7 o'clock having that dude around you.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so after the whole thing happening, it was already bad for me that I had given in to sex. But then, as I'm still getting to adjust to that
That
situation,
part of that I just had sex, then the church.
yeah, no, before even the church comes in, I'm like, I've betrayed my covenant with God. As I'm still in that confusion, I get to find out I'm pregnant. Now that was the greatest blow. That was the greatest blow.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And
The guilt, the confusion.
yes. So I remember when I told him, when I found out I'm pregnant, the first thing I did was to call my pastor. That's Pastor Good Cassidy. I'm like, can I meet you? So I go meet him and I tell him about it. He also broke down and cried because I was one of those daughters of his that
I know that he really,
yes,
you
yes,
could vouch for and do anything.
yeah, so it was a shock to him as well. But I remember him telling me, okay, we all sin and fall short of the glory of God, and you need to stand before the Lord and ask for forgiveness. But then you also have to give accountability to the people, because people are not going to just see you showing up when you're pregnant.
That's very true.
You
That's the heart of a father.
Yes. So one Sunday I had to stand in church, but before I even stood in church, I confronted the guy. I'm like, you know what, I'm pregnant. He's like, you're tying me down. Please abort. He was a medic, so he was telling me, I can come with my friends and we help you abort from your house. Wow. So it was that messy, you know. So as I was dealing with that fact that this guy was telling me he's running away from me, if I don't abort, he's going, then I have to stand in church. But him, being that he was a very good spiritual father, he stood by me. I did the repentance and doing accountability to the people in church. They forgave me. And that was it. All I did was to have this relationship with God, whereby I was telling him I'm abandoned with my baby. I don't know where to go. Everybody's laughing at me. People are judging
The reproach, the embarrassment. Somebody can say, okay, did you see that girl that stood up on the pulpit? Did you see her? Oh, my goodness. And she's been interpreting the past. Oh, Lord, come, I'm going to tell you more about her. And then, the gossip builds up in that way. But that, and you endured all that.
I told God, I've been undressed from this pulpit. I'm not going to run away, because I've grown up in church all my life. The Bible says, train a child
In
so that when they grow, they don't depart. I think that's the gift my parents gave me.
Yes.
That I didn't have another safe zone to run to. All I knew was church, from Sunday school, from I think 4 years. So I didn't know any other life outside church. So when I became pregnant, I'm like, God, I'm not running away. I'm going to get broken towards you. I'm going to stay and take all this shame.
Yes.
So now I come from a family where women don't get married. You all become single mothers. If you go to my home, to my village, I'm assuming you have a function, you will see all my relatives.
Where's your village?
They call it in Pulida, deep in Busoga.
But it's all right.
Yeah.
From there, God picked you up.
Yes.
So
I
and took you
traveled
to Mbarara.
Yes. So I come from a family whereby girls don't get married. Everybody becomes a single mom eventually. My aunties, my relatives, my cousins, everybody. When you're a female, that's what happens to you. So as I was growing up, my mother kept telling us she's born again.
Yeah.
She's the one that drew us to church. So she kept telling us, you girls, you see what is happening in your family. girls don't get married. I want my daughters to be different. So
That's
I want
good.
us to pray. So when we were at campus, she used to call us, all of us at night, to wake us up to pray at 3 a.m. Girls wake up, praying. The only prayer was against that spirit of not getting married. My daughters will not be single moms. So when I became a single mom and I told her, she's like, what? But then she told me, look here, my daughter, the devil has gotten only one of your legs. We can redeem it before it takes the second,
Wow.
you know? So we embarked on a battle, me and her, whereby we understood that the Bible says some things do not go unless by prayer and fasting. So we made prayer and fasting a lifestyle with my mom. We began praying and praying. At first, our prayer was that let's pray that this guy will change, that he will finally accept you the way you are, like you accept to marry you.
So now, after all this has happened, now you're trying to hold on to the baby daddy. Trying to hold on to the baby daddy. I think it's a great temptation to many girls, and you don't know what to do next. You try to hold on to this baby daddy, he abuses you, he trashes you, but you hold on.
You hold on to him, and you're like, even if they tell you, I don't love you, you tell yourself, I'll have love for two. Because you.
Oh my God, no, hold it there. Hold it there. My goodness. The guy tells you, I don't love you. And you tell yourself, don't worry, I will love you and love myself at the same. I mean, what is that?
That maybe with time, this person will adjust. Because here you are.
Now, is that hope or being desperate?
It's being desperate.
Thank you.
Yes, it's being desperate because I come from a family where there is mommy and daddy. I've never grown up in a home of a single man.
Yes.
So it is so scary. Then at church they're asking you, Omami Aliwa, Omami Aliwa. So you also have this appearance to keep up. You want this guy wanted
Oh
to
my
come
God.
up and say, I'm the one. I'm walking her down the aisle. You don't want to paint in your own movie. You know?
Oh my God. Sandra,
Yes.
huh?
Yes.
You know what you're sharing is so relatable. People can identify with you out there. You know, this pressure of, okay, where's the daddy?
Yeah.
That question is big, and especially when you're in church.
Yes. The most painful part was when I was dedicating my baby. People stand there with their husbands.
Dedicating your baby.
Yes.
And who stood there for you?
I was alone. It's just my pastor's wife that came and stood with me and a few ladies in church. You know? So because of that, you want to show up one day after them talking. You want to show up one day and be
And
like,
prove to
okay,
them.
I'm proving to them finally my baby dad is here. We are getting married. You know, but then it's all not working out. The guy's like, I don't love you. Then you want to your parents are like, oh my God, what is this? So you're caught up between the fact that your friends are asking you, who is he? The church is asking you, who is he? And you're also afraid of raising up a child alone because you didn't grow up in a broken home. So you're holding on tight to a relationship that has all the red indicators to show you that it's a no.
But you rather ignore. In other words, you're living in denial. Denial just to keep up an appearance. And how many ladies out there, it's absolute denial. You're going through what you went through, and perhaps if you are alert, you're going to stand and face the reality today, and you don't have to go through the denial that she went through, and it will save you time and resources. Now you went through all of this. Now this is the denial moment. You're trying to keep up appearance. You're trying to appear good before everybody, appear holy. And on the other hand, you're also feeling those words coming in. So-and-so said this. So-and-so thinks this. But you're prevailing.
And then there is another bit whereby the child grows and the baby is crying. Like I used to stay in a home where the landlord had in the same gate with the landlord, so he used to drive in, and his children could run to him, Daddy. So my baby could also run, Daddy.
Oh.
It could wreck me seeing my daughter running to hug that guy. At times I used to refuse, and she could bang the door, and the landlord was like, let her come. So she runs and she jumps onto him. I could break. I'm like, God, I need a father to my child. You know? So it was all painful.
You know, this is such a powerful testimony. And many ladies out there, you want to have a man that can take responsibility over their child. Did this child ever get to meet the father?
This guy shows up at 6 months, I think, 5, 6 months of my pregnancy, and he's like, okay, maybe I wasn't having straight goals, maybe I was a bit confused, I was shocked, I want to come back. So any other woman would jump to that.
Yes.
So I'm like, why not? We are happy to see you.
Yes.
So this guy comes in, and all he could do was come and sit in my house. I pay the rent, I buy the food, I take care of my baby, I pay my bills, and even had the audacity to say, I'm tired of eating this kind of food, I want this. But you take it all in, and you dance to his tunes. Because to
You want to keep up an appearance. You'd rather have just,
brightness is the one.
you know, this is so pathetic. And oh my God, you went through all that. Did he ever bring any help for the child? How old is your child?
I think she's 8 years now.
Now she's 8 years. Not even a thread.
Let me tell you, even when I was trying to name my baby, I remember telling him, I need to name my baby. And he was like this. And I'm like, I've gone through all this pregnancy thing alone. I'm not going to struggle to get a name for my child. So I named my child, And I remember one day, I'm like, I need to know one of your family members. Something can happen. And he was still playing around me. And one day I forced myself into his sister's home. I'm like, look here, because I needed acceptance. I felt I'm alone. Who has a child and you don't have anything attached to your child on the paternal side?
That's true.
So I had to look for a sister. I get to know the sister. I'm like, look here, I'm pregnant. I have a baby. This guy, ABCD. So they try to talk to the guy. There is this mindset girls have. They think when you talk to the parents,
Oh, then you'll get this fool to behave.
yeah, no one has authority to change a man's.
That's true. That's true.
No one,
That's true.
not even the parents.
Not even the sisters.
Because I remember clinging on to it. They began talking to him. He's like, I'm going to work things out with her. But it was worse by the day. He could cheat, he could abuse, he could make your esteem go to zero. Until the last stroke was when my parents were saying, you want to see that guy? Can we see him? Just let him come and we know he's the one. We don't want anything from him. He
Yeah.
stood them up 4 times. The fourth time, the sister called me and told me, you know what? I look at you, you're a very young girl, you're God fearing, you're not any other girl you just find on the streets of Kampala. I know you can get a good man out there. Forget my brother. He's bad news.
Now, this is very good. You got to a point where you said, forget my brother, and you forgot that man.
I remember getting back home in a taxi, crying from Boyogere to Chisasi, like in a taxi, and you're seated between 2 men, and tears are flowing like this. And this man asking you, Madam Olivulunji, you're just like this. Tears are flowing and flowing and flowing until I reached my home. So, since my mom brought us in the culture whereby by 3 you have to be up and pray, so I woke up to pray, and I was telling God, just take this pain. Like you've been holding on to something for close to a year, trying to see that it works, patching it up, putting things under the carpet, being the good guy.
Living in denial.
Yes, trying to be the good, showing up to be like, look, I'm a good wife material. Maybe you could change your mind. So that was a blow. It's like they were pouring water on me that look here,
On all your efforts.
on all your efforts. So that's the feeling I felt. So I went before the Lord at night and I cried. I'm like, just take away all this pain. It's too much.
Now you're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss. You've heard it from Sandra and how she has gone through all this, lived in denial, put up a show to prove to the man and wife material and all this. And finally she realizes all this makeup won't work anything. And she's got to let the guy go, standing as a woman, having a child without a father, but raise up her identity, get to know who she is, and move forward. We want to find out what happened in the next few minutes. I'll be back. Unlocking Marital Bliss. Hey, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And you're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod, the one and only. I tell you over here, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. So don't believe failures out there who tell you marriage is hard. No, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. Before we took a break, I was still talking to our guests, and in particular, Sandra. Sandra, you finally let go. You were tired of keeping up appearances, performing to be loved. And I think this is so dangerous where women perform in order to be accepted. Nobody wants to be loved conditionally. But we find ourselves trying to perform, and then we get tired, we get weary, and that day you get to the break point, and that's happened to you. Enough is enough. So when that happened to you, did you expect, how did you meet this gentleman? Now this has happened. You've said, it's over. Now you're starting your life
Yeah, actually,
with your girl.
yes. When I made that prayer that night, and I was trying to Google which scripture can speak to me in that moment. There was this scripture that says, "Forget the past and look ahead, for I'm yet to do a new thing." So that began being my prayer. That I'm forgetting the past, I'm looking ahead, waiting to see for the new thing you're about to do for me. So I accepted the responsibility. I accepted myself as a single mom, and I'm like, let's start from here.
Let's start from here. Okay, so you accepted everything. Now you're no longer performing to be loved. All you needed was somebody who was gonna love you for you, with your baby, and accept you for you. Not where you need to first perform and hide your baby and say, I don't have a baby, and do all that. So how did you meet this gentleman?
Okay, so one of those times, like you're tired of being in society whereby everybody expects you to show up with this man, the father of your child. At church, they're asking you, where is he in society, or who is the man?
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to change my atmosphere because it was too much pressure, and I'm like, I need to travel abroad and work.
Yes.
So my pastor's wife is like, I can connect you because I have relatives that side. So you
Yes.
just have to you just need to have this kind of money to buy you the ticket and everything, and I'll link it to the job. So as I'm planning to go, I had my money. I had some businesses. I had a mobile money business. I had a poultry farm. As I was almost reaching the time of going, I got robbed from the mobile money several times. The chicken began dying. The eggs, I hear you tell the worker tells you, "Tezabi serero, simani they are sick." Like I got losses. I think God was trying to throw away everything to draw me to Him.
I get it.
You know,
Remove everything you were hanging on.
yes, for Him to come in wholesale.
Yes.
Now, as I'm at that point of losing all this money and I'm yet to go, but my money is less, I began asking friends around church, "Can you borrow me some money? I need to top up 5 million. I need to top up 5 million." Everybody's like, "I don't have." You know, even those who could promise and really think they are going to give you, they turn up and like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't get it." So someone tells me there is this guy at church called Mr. Baingana. He's good at helping.
So you were at the same church
Yes.
with Innocent Baingana.
But we weren't friends. You just bypass him. Come as we several. Praise God, you bypass.
Now hold on. Mr. Baingana,
Yes.
you're in the same church with this girl.
Yes.
And then were you there when she went through the mess, and then she got pregnant, and then she messed up, and then she cried, and then were you in the church, or you hadn't yet joined the church?
Yeah, I joined. I think I joined the church around 2011, and we got married in 2014. So all that period for almost 4 years, I was seeing her, but like any other girl in the church.
You never ever thought that you were ever.
By the time I came to know everybody in the church, that she was standing up in the church. I'm pregnant. She's giving birth. Then she, in my mind, by then also I was my own. Maybe also I was a single dad.
You're a single dad. How did that happen? Single dad, did you separate with your wife or what?
No, I married at 36, and I had a wife for almost 3 years, and we had 3 babies. And but those babies we are giving birth by cesarean. And the third time, She could not make it. She died when she giving birth.
She died when she was giving birth.
Yeah, and she left me with three boys, and the young one was.
What was the cause?
The cause was okay. After our operation, I think she bled too much, and the doctors, the explanation they gave me, that they didn't have enough blood in the hospital, and
They
and
didn't
she-
have enough blood in hospital.
yeah.
Usually,
Then
usually there is a drive you donate blood so that when you're in trouble, you may also be
Yeah.
able to receive blood. You have your card.
Actually,
Are you a blood donator or something?
I actually, when you told me that they are still looking for blood, I said, "Can I come in?" He said, "No, you don't mind." But I remember that I had my, when you donate blood, you have some cards they give you.
Yes.
I had donated about 30 units of blood during my years all over from childhood.
All from your
From
childhood, you had
secondary, yeah,
donated 30 units of blood.
Yeah, and I had the cards on my wallet.
And
And
your
say-
wife is on the operation table
Yeah.
and
Then-
she doesn't have blood.
and there is no blood. I said,
And there is no blood.
Yeah. So I said, now can I say, no, don't mind, we are looking, we shall let you know. Hey, eventually, then they went back in the theater, I remained on the veranda. Then later I say, can we transfer to the international hospital for, it was a long story. Eventually, within 4 hours, she was pronounced dead. So it blew me off. That's how I became a single dad. She left me with the baby was premature, he was in nursery. Then the whole story was a mess. Then later, I had to raise those kids alone. And I'm trying to summarize on the whole story. And I had those kids on my hands. I had a very big grudge with God, because I was not looking at anybody. Because I married late. I was so strict. I wanted to, the first woman in my life will be the last woman the first wife, the woman will be the last in my life. And I made it
So
that
the mother
way.
of your children was the
My-
first woman.
She was the first woman in my
You
life.
married her when you were
Yeah,
a virgin.
Yeah. So when she passed away, I said, no, that is between me and my God. He knew it very well. I was with you. I donated blood. It was not by coincidence. I used to work at Crescent Towers some time back. I used to run from Crescent Tower, lunch hour. They used to serve lunch. I ran to Nakasero Blood Bank. I donated within 1 hour. They used to give us biscuits and 1 soda. I used to raise them there. I ran back so that 1 lunch hour could find me when I reached back to work. I go back. I did it all over and all over. Even after 3 months, I go there and donate and donate. When I was really thinking about it, God, really? That's what you had to pay me? I said, no. Since you cannot help me, there's nobody else I can run to, and you have betrayed me, then I will never marry again. This is the life. Good enough, you have given me children, and that's what I will live. And that's how. Then I gave up, I will never marry again. Then what God, he kept quiet. I kept on going, God, it is you. This is the life you've chosen to live. Then later, my firstborn, a child was about 4 years. We were staying on the second floor, on storage house. He climbed up on the handrails and fell down on the ground. He hit his forehead on the concrete down. He was in a coma for some good hours. We ran all over the St. Catherine, all the clinics around in town. In case they said you cannot manage, you go back to Mulago. Reaching Mulago, I remember it was a Labor Day and the doctors were not there. It was past 7. It was around 8 because I had to run around. They said we cannot wait for tomorrow for the doctors to come in. Then I went back with my child. It was around midnight. I pressed her on the bed and sleep like taking me away. Then a very strong voice came in and telling me, so strong that I don't intend to hurt this boy. But if I want, I can take one by one, all of them, and nothing you can do to me. Eventually, I knew it was God, because I had forgiven and say I will never marry again. And my pastors were telling me, please, now we are mourned enough. Can you look for a wife to take care of those kids? And say, no, I have issues with my God, and that's it. Then when it happened, I realized he is the one, and I have to come back to my senses. That's when now I started, let me go back on the journey of getting a wife to marry.
So you got to that point, having gone through everything. Usually, when the pain comes in, then the denial begins. You're like, I'll never marry again. You make these vows and you get mad at God. And you finally discover that getting mad at God, God doesn't lose, you lose. So you humbled yourself and now you're willing to love again. You're willing to love again. So now, how do you all come to meet? So you want to go out and take care of your babies, your baby. And somebody tells you innocent Baingana is Santa Claus at the church. Okay? So how does that happen?
Okay, first of all, it was hard to confront him because we weren't friends. I would just pass, hello, how are you? Praise God. Because when we could meet, we used to, like, my workplace was next to his home. So there is a time we could bypass, and I'm on this side of the road, he's on the other side, and we just wave at each other, times even bypass each other if we are in a rush. So they tell me to talk to him, and I'm like, you don't just confront someone you don't know and begin asking them for money.
Yeah.
So it was hard. But then I was pushed on the wall. So I get my phone and call him. I'm like, you know what? Someone told me you could help me. I'm this girl. She's like, who are you? I'm like, this girl who interprets for the pastor. Oh, okay. I need someone to borrow me money. I want to top up what I have, and I want to go and work. So he's like, why do you want to go and work abroad? Why don't you sit in Uganda? You can make it in Uganda, you know? So I began telling him, you know what, I'm a single mom, so I need to take care of my kids, my baby, and I have siblings I take care of. And that's when he found out that I was a single mom. For him, he thought all along I'm engaged to the father of my child, you know. So he promised to help me, but it hit him to know that I'm a single mom. All along, he told me when he saw me apologizing on the pulpit when I was pregnant, he loved the openness in me. He's like, wow, she has guts and she's open. She has a choice to run away. So to him, he fell in love with that kid, but not real to say and she loves someone.
Yeah.
You know, but then you admire someone from afar and you're like, wow, she's good wife material. She's hardworking. But then you know she's engaged. So to him, it was an eye opener. That,
so she's available.
Yeah.
Ooh, I could make my move, huh? So, and now you discover that she's available.
Yeah, of course. When I decided to say now, I've got a message, I have to look for a wife. Of course, I started to look around the girls who could propose, say, okay, let's give it a try. But eventually they betray me, say, you are very old, I'm a young girl, I cannot take you. Like kind of big disappointment.
Yes.
Yeah. But of course, she was there. It was look like she was pregnant when I was singing. She got pregnant when I was singing in the church, a pulpit. Yes. She gave birth. I knew how all what was going on, seeing her. I could not dare, so I knew she was engaged. Because she had the baby, there was definitely would be a father for the baby. So it was like, to me, it was like a married woman. So I have nothing to do with her. So one time I remember when she had businesses, one of the things, I had my friend was standing on the front of the church talking. Then she came and said, how is the poultry farm? How is the mobile money business? How are they started? I'm facing these challenges. This girl is so hardworking. Yeah, says lucky the man, the husband. I just, after all, she's a goner case. I don't have anything to do with her. Yeah. Then when she came, by then when I was disappointed left and right, she came that she wanted money. I said, why do you want money? I looked here. She was so innocent the way I looked at her.
Yes.
Then he said, I want to go and, but what about you, their father, or your husband, your boyfriend, your husband? He said, no, I want to go. I'm a single mom. I don't have any support. He said, no, all along I've been a single mom. I said, yes. I do. What happened there? So we are not. I thought you are engaged. You are engaged. He said, no, we are not engaged. He told me the whole story.
Yes.
And I said, okay, fine. I said, then I went and thought about it. Suppose this is the girl I see. It's a good wife material. Then I say one time, I called her, can we meet? And we meet, and I proposed her. I said,
And you proposed, and what was your take? This man comes in, you go to borrow money. Did you go out and come back and get married, or what happened?
We talked on Monday when I needed the money.
Okay.
So he's like, he's going to give me the money, but in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the 2 weeks. But then that same week on Saturday, I think he calls me and he's like, what are you doing tomorrow after service? I'm like, I'll be going back home. He's like, can we meet somewhere? So me, I think
You're
are
going to get
meet
money.
To get the money. I was excited. I even called my mom. I'm like, oh, this guy is going to borrow me the money. Reaching there, he tells me he had always been admiring the woman in me, but he thought I'm engaged. But finding out that I'm not engaged and I want to leave the country, he felt he should let me know that he has been interested. He's interested. I'm like, okay, now this is serious. I'm expecting to go and work and then someone is telling me.
What's wrong with men? For God's sake, I want to fend for my daughter, and now this man is telling me he wants to marry me.
Totally off the beat. So I remember telling him he didn't give me time, so he gave me like 2 weeks. I was trying to inquire from the because I didn't want to mess up again. It was enough me being a single mom once.
That's true.
I didn't want to have a second child from a different man. So I told him give me time. So I began asking God, and eventually all the signs were showing that he's the one. And the day I came to say yes to him, that I've accepted to date you, he told me, look here, I'm not a guy who plays around. I don't have time to waste. I'm a mature person. Today. I want us to set, how long are we going to date? I want us to date intentionally.
I love that. That's being a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we are dating for 1 year, let it be. We are dating for 1 year. So today, let's set the date for the chala or the quadrilla for the wedding.
And it was so overwhelming to you.
I'm like, what?
This guy ain't serious.
I'm running to the bathroom to call my mom. I'm like, Mommy, I told you this guy is going to borrow me money. This guy is telling me he loves me and my year. Mommy's like, oh, guys, man, they were stealing more. So we need to be sure. Who does that? We all know how it's hard to get a man.
Yes.
So you can't tell
that
me.
will take up a woman who has a child.
Yes. And then I'm like, okay. So she's like, we need to put it before the Lord. Tell him to give you time, But then I remember telling him, you know what, I need to think properly about this, So I remember I used to tell God, I want a man that is not a player. I don't want a time waster. I want to settle down. So I was reminded of my prayers. And there we were. We set the dates and how long we will date. So after knowing how long we will date, so we set the Kwanjula, the wedding and the Kuchala dates.
And so when did you get married?
29th of November.
29 November 2014.
Yeah, so you just celebrated your anniversary, huh?
Yeah.
29th November 2014. Wow, do you have any children together?
Yeah, two.
2 children. Wow. So altogether, it's a family of
6.
Yeah, 6
children.
And then when you met him, was he renting? Had he built a house somewhere?
He was just putting up a retirement home, but he was still renting.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Retirement home and then put some bedrooms up.
Yes. So he was already constructing a home.
Wow.
By the time I met him.
By the time you met him.
Yeah.
And then did he, you mentioned something about, that was so different about him when you got to the home that he was constructing.
Okay. I remember.
I believe that can be very life-changing to men out there.
Yeah. I remember when he came into my life and we began dating, he had 3 boys. So the house he was building was a house for with his 3 boys.
Yes.
So he's like, wow, God has blessed me with a daughter. My wife died praying to God for a daughter.
Yes.
So to me, this is like an answered prayer. Even in death, God is still answering our prayers.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm so happy that he has given me a girl and He broke one of his walls to extend and build a bedroom for this girl. He was becoming a father too.
That is before he even married you.
That's before the wedding. So to me, that was a huge, huge.
Mr. Bayingana,
letter.
do you live on planet Earth? You know, our viewers are going to be thinking, is that a real man or what? You know, people are not used to real men like you. They're used to players, they're used to those who would take advantage, but you have demonstrated what it means to love a woman. Breaking your walls to bring in some other daughter. You love, that is not even your blood, but you loved her and loved everything about her. And you don't need to perform anymore to be accepted by that man. Woo! Glory to God. Mr. Bayingana, please.
No, I had 3 boys, and all along they late. We were looking to get a girl, which never happened.
Yes.
When she came, she had a daughter. Say that's why I say to me, when our pastors were trying to convince me to get a wife and marry, and they were always quoting the book of Job. They always give me the story about Job. When I saw that girl, I say, this is exactly happening to me. I embraced the girl wholeheartedly. This is my daughter I've been looking for.
You took her out.
Yeah. And to me, in my heart, I feel when I go out, actually I usually say, the reason I live for my wife and my children.
Yes.
Without them, there is no reason I should live. I don't live to eat food. What?
Yes.
I eat
You work
how
for
many
your family.
how many tons of food will I eat? I live for my wife and my children.
Thank you so much for being able to live for your wife and your children. A few men can say that, and they won't even be open to you. But what you did is what real men do. You loved a woman unconditionally. You covered her nakedness. You gave her glory once again. And look at how bright she is because of you. You know?
And
This-
I remember when we got our first car, I thought he would drive it because in Africa, a man drives first, of course. Until
Okay.
when they get money and they can buy, that's if they even wish.
Yes.
But when this guy bought a car, he told me I cannot drive the car when my wife is in a taxi.
Now that's what I call a man, a real man. Not the man who say, you keep boarding the taxi, I'll keep driving. No.
So he gave me the car. So I could actually drop him at a taxi stage. He gets a taxi, I drive to work.
Now that's the man we're talking about. You've heard it. I know our time has run out, and we can keep saying this over and over. But I want you to know, say within 10 seconds, one word to the single moms out there.
Okay. To the single moms out there, the Bible says there is hope in a tree that has been cut, for it shall sprout again.
Wow.
Yeah, so no matter how deep you've cut, and I don't care how long you've been a single mom, there are women who think they've overgrown, who will take them. God is not limited with time. Time is just a number before Him. So there is always hope in you tree that has been cut, you will sprout again. But the step you have to take is to get broken towards God. He says, give me your right hand and I'll help you. He did that for me, He can do it for you too.
Thank you so much. That is Sandra and Mr. Innocent. A word for the guys out there who think any woman who has a child is not wife material.
Yeah, God says, God is the one who gives wives
Yes.
now, and He gives a prudent wife to those men who seek Him.
Thank you.
You cannot get a woman who is not given by God. Remember, is the one who removed the rim
very true.
and get a woman out of it. He knows where your wife is.
Thank you so much. That is Mr. and Mrs. Bayingana. And hey, it doesn't matter how your life has been. God can clean you up and you can love again. Never say never. Never say never. You can love again and it's never too late. Thank you so much for watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Road. And remember, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. And hey, you can love again. See you next time.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.